Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Ebony Janice. I go by Ebony Janice, which means that you should call me Ebony Janice. And it's Black Dreaming Saturday. So today I want to talk about something that I've been sitting with, kind of playing around with academically for a while now. And I'll start by being honest about where I am with it. I'm not presenting this as finished. It is not a completed framework. But I want to share a thread that I keep pulling on that keeps getting longer and more interesting the more that I pull. And that thread is this. I am a full-time PhD student in a women's spirituality program. And one of the questions that keeps coming up in my research in different forms from different angles is about dreams, specifically about what I've started calling dream literacy. So, the idea that there are ancient, sophisticated, communally held Black dreaming practices that existed before colonialism that were deliberately and violently disrupted, and those practices are worth recovering, not as nostalgia or romanticism about the past, but as serious scholarly and spiritual inquiry into what was lost and what it would mean to find it again. Here's what I actually know. There is a gap in the existing scholarship. There is significant academic work in dreams and psychology, in religious studies and indigenous studies broadly, but there is very little scholarship that centers Black women's dreaming, specifically as a site of ancestral knowledge transmission, as a form of resistance to colonial epistemologies, as primary location of spiritual authority. The gap is real, and it does feel significant. Because what I've observed in my own practice, in the 64-day protocol that I completed earlier this year, in the dream archive that I've been building and adding to and documenting in, is that the dream space is not neutral territory for Black women. It is a site where something is happening that we do not yet have adequate scholarly language for. The ancestors speak there in those dreams. The Orisha communicate. Patterns emerge that are informing our waking life in ways that feel too consistent and too specific to be dismissed as coincidence or subconscious noise. But the academy has almost nothing to say about that from a Black woman's perspective. So that gap is kind of what keeps pulling me back to this thread. What I'm still trying to figure out is where this goes formally, if anywhere at all, what shape it takes as research, what the methodology potentially looks like, whether and how it becomes part of my doctoral work specifically. And I'm being, as transparent about this dream thought process today because I think there's something important about showing the inside of intellectual work in progress. Not just like a finished framework, but the clean language and the confident presentation comes after you start to talk about it out loud. Having questions that you kind of don't have fully mapped out yet, but you get to think through it out loud. So of course I'm a PhD student in the middle of, formal study about a lot of different things, particularly Blackness as cosmology. And so Black dreaming would potentially be a part of that journey. I'm saying this to say where this is leading, I'm still genuinely discovering. What I know for certain is this. Every time I pull this thread, something significant comes loose. The 64-day protocol deepened my understanding of what consistent dream documentation actually does to a person, how it changes your relationship to your own interior life, and it opens up channels of communication that you didn't know were available or that you hadn't been taking seriously. And it makes you even more available to receive what is being sent. The Saturday arm of this channel, this Black dreaming, keeps pointing in the same direction. Black dreaming is not a theme. It is a life's inquiry, whether it lives in a dissertation or in a book or in a community practice or in all three. I don't know yet. What I know is that this question is real. This thread, this tug is real. And I'm going to keep pulling on it. Come back next Saturday. We're building this together. And by we, I mean listening to me run off at the mouth about dreaming is a part of this framework building as well.